Get ready to amaze your audience and even yourself. This trick is not only brilliant, it's entirely self-working, can be performed with any shuffle deck and contains no difficult moves. So grab a deck, hit subscribe for more confidence building tutorials and get ready to wow. Okay, so as ever, let's just kickstart by taking a look at the effect itself, an unbelievable multiple prediction. And we're going to start with a shuffled deck. So just hand the cards to a spectator. They can shuffle those as much as they like. The cards really are mixed. You're now going to take the deck with a view to removing 4 prediction cards, explaining that 1 prediction is pretty good, 2 is even better, but 4 is something else. So let's see, let's remove this as the first prediction. I think maybe this one here as the second one. I think this for the third, and one more, just this card here. And with the prediction cards removed, you can just take these and place them on the side. You're now going to take the deck and remove 4 more cards that we need for this trick, the 4 aces. So you're just going to look through the deck and find those cards. There's 1, there's 2, 3, and 4. And you can just take the 4 aces here and place these cards on the side. Now, to make sure things really are as mixed as possible, you can ask the spectator to take the deck and just give the cards another shuffle. And again, they can shuffle the cards as much as they like. You're now going to take the deck and you're just going to divide the cards into 4 piles on the table. So the first pile, let's see, maybe just these cards here, placing these on the end, and a few more cards for the second pile, which we'll place just here. The third pile we'll place next to those. That will do just there. And finally, some cards for the final pile on the end, which we'll place just here. We're now going to take the 4 aces, which we placed over here on the side, and we're going to ask the spectator to lose these randomly in the piles. So to start, ask them just to cut a number of cards from the first pile here to the side, any number they like. It's a totally free choice. Let's say they cut the cards just here. Ask them now to place the first ace onto the bottom half of those cards, and then to cut any number of cards they like from the next pile and to place these on top to lose the ace. And again, it really is a free choice. They can cut any number of cards. Ask them now to place the second ace on top of the next pile here, and again to lose this ace by cutting any number of cards from the next pile just here and placing these on top. Ask them now to place the third ace on top of the pile just here, and again cutting any number of cards from the end and placing these on top. And finally, they can just place the final ace on the end just here. With the cards freely cut by the spectator, you can just gather up the piles. Now, you can just emphasize to the spectator that the aces are well and truly lost in the deck. They had a free choice of cutting the cards wherever they liked. There's absolutely no way that you could know where the aces now are. You're now going to take your prediction cards over here, your 4 predictions which have been on the table from the start. And you're just going to deal these into a single row on the table. Reminding the spectator that these predictions were made before the trick had even begun, we're now going to use them to determine how many cards to deal from the deck. And with that said, you can turn over the first prediction, which is a king. Explaining that the king represents the number 13, you're now going to deal that many cards below that prediction. So 13 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You're now going to turn over the next prediction just here, which is a 10. And so now you're going to deal 10 cards beneath this prediction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, to make things even more interesting, you're going to give the spectator a choice of which order to reveal the final 2 predictions here. They can either keep them as they are, or they can choose to swap them around. It's a totally free choice. Let's say in this instance they choose to swap them around, so you're just going to take these predictions and switch their order. Revealing the third prediction here to be a 4, you're now going to deal 4 cards beneath that prediction. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally just revealing the final prediction on the end to be a 7. So you'll now just take 7 cards and deal them beneath this prediction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And with that done, you can just place the rest of the cards to the side. At this point, you can just quickly recap exactly what's happened. At the beginning of the trick, before anything had even happened, you removed 4 prediction cards and placed these on the table. The 4 aces were then removed, which the spectator freely lost in the deck. They could have cut the packs anywhere, it was a totally free choice, and so therefore could have placed the aces anywhere. Not only that, but they also had a free choice in which order to reveal the predictions, and these predictions have now been used to deal 4 piles of cards to the table. All that's left to do now is to reveal the results. You can now turn over the first pile here to reveal an ace. You can turn over the second pile here to reveal a second ace. Turning over the third pile here reveals yet another ace. And finally, turning over the fourth pile at the end just here will reveal, incredibly, all 4 of the aces. Okay, so let's take a look at the secret to this effect. Now, the spectator really can shuffle the deck as much as they like. It all adds to the impact. You're now going to take the deck and you're going to remove 4 prediction cards, dealing them face down to the table. And here you're simply just going to remove any 4, any 7, any 10, and any king. You're then just going to take these cards and place them on the side. Note the order of these cards is as follows. You've got the 10 on top, followed by the 10, followed by the 7, and then the 4 on the bottom. You're now going to take the deck and just remove the 4 aces. And you can take the aces and just place these face up on the side. You can ask the spectator just to give the deck another shuffle, and you're now going to divide the cards into 4 piles on the table as follows. For the first pile that goes to your right, you're secretly going to count off exactly 12 cards. Try to make this look as natural as possible, and counting in groups of cards can make it easier. Take these cards and place them to your right. For the next pile, you're secretly going to count off exactly 9 cards. Take these cards and place them next to the first pile. For the next pile, again, you're going to count off exactly 9 cards. And then place these next to the other 2 piles. And finally, for the 4th pile, you can start to fan through the cards and then just take all of these cards and place them in the 4th pile at the end. You can now take the 4 aces, turn them face down, and hand them to the spectator. Ask the spectator to cut a number of cards from the first pack and just place these to the side. Ask them to place the first ace face down onto the bottom half of the cut cards just here, and then to take any number of cards from the next pile and place these on top. Placing the second ace onto the cut pile just here, and again taking any number of cards from the next pile and placing these on top. They'll place the third ace onto the cards here, and again cutting any number of cards from the final pile and placing these on top. Ask the spectator to place the final ace on top of the final pile at the end. You're now going to gather up the piles from right to left. At this point, you can perform some false cuts of your choice just to make it look as though the cards really are mixed. In the presentation, I perform a simple false cut to the table, and here's how that works quickly. Just cutting off a portion of cards from the top and placing them to your left. The rest of the deck goes to your right, and then cutting off about half of these cards and placing them in the middle. You then just gather the packs back up from left to right, and nothing has changed. With that done, you can just take your prediction cards here and deal these into a row on the table. And the cards should be as follows: King, 10, 7, and the 4. You can now reveal the predictions individually, with the first card obviously being the King. Explaining a King equals 13, you're going to deal that many cards beneath it. 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13. Revealing the next prediction as a 10, you'll now deal that many cards to the table. 1, 2, 8, 9, 10. For the final two predictions here, you can offer the spectator the chance to change their order, and I think it's fun when they do. So let's say they do change them around, but it really is a totally free choice. Reveal the third prediction, and again for this, you're simply just going to deal a corresponding number of cards to the table. So in this case, 4 cards. And finally, just reveal the fourth prediction here, in this case, the 7. For this prediction, rather than dealing cards to the table, you're just going to count the corresponding number of cards from the top of the deck without changing their order. So in this case, 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Placing all of these cards beneath the final prediction. And all that's left to do now is the final reveal. Turning over each of the 4 piles to reveal that you have incredibly managed to predict all 4 of the aces. And there you have it. Remember, this isn't just about the cards, it's about developing a mindset that helps you succeed in everything you do. So keep practicing, keep exploring, and watch just how far you can go. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep the magic alive.